Okay, so we are almost done, or halfway done, I should say. We're at step 44, and we need to add the class names flavor and price to the remaining p elements. So flavor, okay, so we're gonna say class equals flavor, and we're gonna copy that, and we're gonna paste it here and here and here, and then we're gonna say the same thing, but we are gonna change flavor to price, and then we're gonna copy that, paste it here. Oh no, what did I do? Copy, paste, and paste, and paste. Now it works for all of them, and submit and go to the next challenge. If you make the width of the page preview smaller, you will notice at some point some of the text starts wrapping around. This is because p elements can only take up 50% of the space. Since you know the prices on the right have significantly fewer characters, change the flavor class width to be 75% and the prices to be 25. So this is going to be 75. This is going to be 25. Okay, you'll come back to this, to styling the menu in a few steps, but for now go ahead and add a second section element for displaying the desserts. Okay, so just say section and section. Add an h2 tag and type desserts. Okay, h2 okay, add an empty article under element under. Okay, we need to give it a class attribute with the name value. Okay, so article open and close, and then give it a class equals to item. Nest two p elements inside your article element. The first one's text should be donut, and the second is 150. Put them both on the same line, make sure there's no space between them. Okay, so p I keep experimenting with different ways to write the opening and closing tags, but it's always so confusing. If you have any tips, please tell me, because it's just so weird to me. But yeah, so donut for the first one and 150 for the second. That should work. There we go. Okay. We need to give it the price and okay, so class equals flavor. Wait, is it flavor? Add dessert as the value of the, okay, so we call it dessert, and price for the second one. Okay. Add the correct class attribute value to the p element with donut as its text. Okay. So we just do the same thing, but no? Oh. They want it to be the same one. That works too. Do we need to comma? Yeah, there we go. Okay, now for the repetitive part. we just add this. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna say, wait, okay, yeah, we need the whole article. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is gonna be cherry pie. This is gonna be cheesecake. This is gonna be cinnamon roll. Okay, so this is gonna be 275. Oh, oops, it's this one. 275. This is gonna be 3, and this is gonna be 250. There we go. As you can see, it's coming along nicely. You can give your menu some space between the content and the sides using the padding properties. Give the menu class a padding left and right with the same value 20. Okay, so padding left, set to 20 pixels, and copy, paste, is going to be padding right. There we go, much better. I was just beginning to notice how annoying it was, and we fixed it. That looks better. Now try to add some padding to the top and bottom. So we're going to say padding dash top 20 pixels, padding dash bottom 20 pixels. There we go. Since all the sides have the same internal spacing, go ahead and delete the 4 properties and use a single padding property with the value of 20. So since they all have 20, we just say padding equals to 20 pixels because we don't need to specify up, right, left, whatever. Okay, the current width will always take up 80%, so we need to change the max width property to 500 pixels to prevent it from growing too wide. Because as you can see, this is too wide and ugly, you know? So instead of making it 80%, we'll make it 500%, or 500 pixels, sorry. Oh, I guess we should just add a max width, maybe. There we go. So it can be 80%, but the max width is 500 pixels. Alright, we got it. Okay. You can change the font family of the text to make it look different from the default font of your browser. Each browser has some common fonts to it. Change all the text in your body by adding a font family property and set it to sans serif. Okay. There we go. Okay, it's a bit boring. You can still have the majority and use a different selector. Okay, since style both H1 and H2. Okay, so we're gonna say H1 dash or comma H2, and then we use font family, and then we set that to impact, and that just makes it kind of bold. Okay, add the fallback font. Okay, so if this impact isn't available, we go back to serif. So okay, so just font family, I guess we just put it here, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Make the established in 2020 text italicized by creating an established class selector and giving it font style. Okay. So established. Font style. Italic. There we go. Now apply the established class to the okay, so class okay, the typography of heading elements is set by default values of users' browsers. Add two new type selectors, H1 and H2. Use the font size property for both, but use the value 40 pixels. Okay. Add two new type selectors. So H1 font size 40 pixels. And then we're gonna do the same thing for H2, but we're gonna make that 30 pixels. Okay, add a footer below the main element where you can add some extra information. Okay, so footer okay, so inside the footer we need a p element, then nest an anchor element in the p that links to this and has the text visit our website. Okay, so let's do this in order so we don't get confused. So we have the p element, right? And we want it to say visit our website. Okay, and we need to nest an anchor element inside p. So we say a href and then dot. It should work, please. Your new A element should be nested within your new P element. I guess I just delete this. Oh, I know. I forgot to add the closing tag for the A. No? Still not working. Maybe I say I do this and then this. Nope. Still not working. Okay, your new A element should be nested within your new P element. You should have exactly one A element. Do I just remove this? I don't think so. Yeah, that's not right. Okay, so I figured it out. My mistake was that I was putting the A inside the P element, but instead I was supposed to be putting it in between the opening and closing of the P elements, and then you just put visit our website before the A closes so that this whole thing becomes the hyperlink, and the href obviously goes inside the A element. So yeah, my mistake. Okay, add a second P and give it this. Okay, so we're gonna say below the one with the link, so it's gonna be here, P, and Oops. That should work. Okay, there we go, whatever. You can use an HR element to display a divider between sections. Add an HR element between the P element with the class established and the first section. So it's going to be here, HR. There we go. Default properties will make it a thin gray line. You can change the height by specifying, okay, so we need to change the height to 3 pixels. Oh, I completely forgot to do this. Okay, height is 3 pixels. Change the background color of the HR element to brown. Okay, so background dash color is going to be brown to match the coffee beans. Okay, and we need to fix the edges because we can still see the gray. So make all the edges of the HR element the same color as the background of it using border color property. So border color is going to be brown. There we go. Now it's all brown. The background color and the border color. Okay. Change the height property of the HR to be 2 pixels. Okay. So basically the border is 1 pixel. So the top is 1 pixel, the bottom is 1 pixel. Okay. So since the height of it is 3 pixels, that's 3, where? Yeah, so 3 plus 1, 1, so that's going to be 5. Okay. And yeah, so we don't want that. We want it to be 4. So we're going to change this to 2. And we're going to change... Oh, that's it, I think. Yeah, there we go. We want it to be 4, so we change it to 2. And so it becomes 2 plus 1 plus 1, which is 4. Okay. Go ahead and add another HR element between the main element and the footer element. So here. There we go. To create a little more room, add 20 pixels of space on the inside of the body by using padding. Okay, so padding is going to be set to 20 pixels of space. Okay, use the existing selector that targets all the P elements inside nested in elements with the class named item and set their top and bottom margin to be 5. Okay, I don't understand. I'm sorry, I'm reading without understanding. Use the existing selector that targets all the P elements inside nested in the elements with the class and set their... Okay, so it's going to be this one. And nested in elements with the class item and set their top and bottom margin to be 5. Okay, top margin is going to be 5 pixels. Oh, I think it's margin top, not top margin. Margin top. Yeah, there we go. And then margin bottom. There we go. And we're almost done. We're 75% of the way there, you could say. A little more. But yeah. Using the same style selector in the previous step, make the font size of the items and prices larger by using a value of 18 pixels. Okay. Font size 18 pixels. Okay, change the margin bottom to 5. Okay, changing it to 5 makes it look great. However, the space between cinnamon roll menu item and the second HR, yeah, I agree, it doesn't look matching. So add some space by creating a class named bottom line using 25 pixels for margin property. So class named bottom line and margin top is going to be equal to 25 pixels, and there we go. Now we need to add it, so here class equals bottom dash line. There we go. Now it's applied. Next, you are going to be styling the footer element to keep the CSS organized. Add a comment at the end of the CSS styles.css with the text footer. Add a comment. Okay, so that was absolutely unnecessary, but whatever. Moving down the footer element, make all the text have a value of 14 pixels for the font size. Okay. No, it's gonna be text. No, I'm not sure actually. I think it's gonna be in the footer. And then text size is going to be 14 pixels. No, you should have a footer selector. That's what I have. I'm not sure. No. Is it size dash text? No, that's even more wrong. You should have a footer selector. Is that not it? I'll be back. I'll figure it out. Okay, basically, I just literally all I needed to do was just change it to footer without the dot, and that's what I guess a selector is without the class, because it's not a class, it's just a selector for something that's already there. And the font size, it's a text size, but the right one is font size. Okay, to make the footer links the same color regardless if a link has been visited, use a type selector for the anchor element A and use the value black for the color property. So I think it's going to be like this. Color is going to be black. There we go. Okay, you change properties of a link. Alright. Okay, so if it's visited, we're going to change it to, gray. So here we say a visited property name. So we're going to change the property name to color. And the property value is going to be gray because it's going to be black, but if we visit it, it's going to be gray. Check your code, submit. Okay. You can change, okay, now we need to add a hover property. So you change the color of the footer to be brown when a user hovers over it. So same thing, hover, property name, we're going to say color, and we're going to set it to brown. Easy peasy. See, now it changes to brown. And since we visited it, it's now gray. And if we hover on it, it's brown. Okay, cool. Change the color of the footer. Visit our website to be linked to be white when clicked on. So if it's active, that should be white. There we go. Okay, to keep the same color theme you have already going, black and brown, change the color for when the link is visited to black and use brown for the for when the link is actually clicked. So visited is going to be black, clicked is going to be brown. Cool. Okay, now we need to change the H1 top margin to 0 to remove the top margin. So this right here, completely unnecessary. So we're going to change it. So it's going to be margin top, and we're going to set it to 0. Cool. To remove some of the vertical space between H1 element and text, change the bottom margin H1 to, okay, margin bottom 15 pixels. Cool. We fixed it. Okay, now the top spacing looks good. To decrease the default margin below the address P element, create a class selector named address and use the value 5 pixels for the margin bottom property. So we're gonna say address and set the value to margin bottom, set the margin value to 5 pixels, and I think this needs a dot, I'm not sure. There we go, yes sir. And now we add it to the index. We add it to this one. Okay, class address. There we go. Okay, under the coffee heading, add an image using the URL. Okay. So you come here, add an image here, so img, and then close it. Because it's a self-closing tag, we say href, I think, or no, source. So source equals this, and we're gonna give it alt equals coffee icon. There we go. It's not centered horizontally like the coffee image above it, or coffee heading above it. Okay, img elements are like inline elements to make the image behave like heading elements. Okay, we need to create an image type selector and use the value block for the display property and use the applicable margin left and margin right. Okay, so image, and then use the block. Okay, display block, and then we're gonna say margin left, and margin right is gonna be, I don't know what we set it to, honestly. That should work. There we go. I just set it to auto for both so that it's in the middle. That makes sense. Add one last image. Okay, so here we go. You come here and you do img, and source is going to be equal to this, and alt is going to be pi icon because that's what it is. And there we go. 91, that's the last step. Okay. It would be nice if the vertical space between the H2 elements and their associated icons was smaller. I completely agree, this is a bit too big. Okay. There is an easier way. Add a negative top margin to the img elements to pull them up. Negative values, okay. Okay, easy peasy. Margin dash top is set to minus 25 pixels. and that brings them up. If it was minus 2 pixels, it would be that. If it's minus 20, minus 200, it would bring it up a lot. That's not good. Okay. And we are done. So that's what the final thing looks like, the final website. And here's the full code. I hope you guys learned something new by following along with me, and make sure to try this out for yourself, because the more you do things on your own, just like I'm doing right now, the more it just clicks into your brain instead of watching someone else do it. That being said, please like and subscribe, and have a great day.